Hello dear students, this is Madhurima Mees. I'm back with the last portion of the story that I had already started explaining in my previous videos, and the name of the chapter is, name of the short story is The Model Millionaire, written by Oscar Wilde, and the story is included in the new syllabus of ICSE board students for class 9, and the book that I'm using here is called The Treasure Chest. It is the new book for ICSE board students. Now in my previous video I had already explained what had happened. In order to know that what has actually happened or how the story started, do check my previous videos. And this is the last video for the Model Millionaire chapter. In my next videos I will come back with other chapters of that same book, and I will explain the video. I will explain those chapters, poems and short stories, question answers in my next videos. Okay, now having said that, let us come back to the story. Now remember what has already happened in the story. Huey got to know about the real identity of that beggar man whom he had given a sovereign as a way of charity. Now that beggar man was very inquisitive about Huey, who he is, what his income is, where does he live. So that was the last portion when we got to know that basically that beggar man was not a beggar man, rather he was Hausberg. His name was Baron Hausberg. Okay, so this is the revelation for Huey. Alan Trevor already knew the name of the model, or who he is, what his real identity is. Now Huey is feeling really embarrassed that he gave a sovereign to a millionaire. Okay, a millionaire who can buy London tomorrow without going bankrupt. This is the recapitulation of the previous page number 92, and let us come back to today's discussion. And here in this video I am going to discuss whatever content is available on the page number 93 of the book Treasure Chest. Now let us see what happens from there. Huey is super embarrassed, completely embarrassed for what he did, and he is saying that I am an unlucky devil. Who is saying that? Huey is saying that I am an unlucky devil, growled Huey. Growled means he is constantly complaining, what have I done? How embarrassed I am right now to know that I have helped a millionaire. I tried to help a millionaire by giving him a sovereign, but definitely Huey was a kind-hearted person, and he took pity on the beggar man. Now how is he going to know that the beggar man was not a beggar man, but rather he was the very influential millionaire of Europe? So he growled that I am an unlucky devil to have made this mistake, to make a fool out of myself. Okay, the best thing I can do is to go to bed. So what is the best thing that I can do right now? I can go to bed right now. Who is saying that? Huey is saying that I am so embarrassed, I cannot change my past, I have done such a stupid activity. What else can I do apart from going to bed? So this is what I can do right now. Okay, my dear Ellen, you must not tell anyone. So I am so embarrassed right now. Please don't embarrass me more by sharing my story with others. So don't tell anyone else. He's literally requesting his friend Alan Trevor that I have made enough fool of myself. I have embarrassed myself by doing that act of charity. Now please, Alan, don't go on telling stories about my stupidity to other friends of yours or to anyone. I shouldn't dare show my face in the room. Means I won't be able to show my face to people around me. They would know that how stupid I am, how ridiculous it was for me to do a charity, to give a sovereign to a millionaire. They must not be thinking of, they will think about me this way if you tell them what I have done. So please don't tell a single thing to anyone, otherwise I won't be able to show my face to them. Now Alan is saying, nonsense. It reflects the highest credit on your philanthropic spirit, Huey. Now Alan is saying, don't think that way. You have not embarrassed yourself. You are not stupid. You haven't done anything ridiculous. Rather, it shows how much of a philanthropic person are you. It shows that side of you, that philanthropic spirit of you. Because even when you yourself was not in a condition to do a charity, you yet chose to give a sovereign to a beggar man. You thought about the person who is living in misery when you yourself was in a trouble. because of financial crisis, because you didn't have any permanent source of income, yet you chose to help a person who is living in a far worse condition than you yourself were. So you chose to help a person. That is why it shows a philanthropic side of you, philanthropic spirit of you. So you don't have to be embarrassed about that, and don't run away. There is nothing to be run away. Why are you running away? You don't have to run away from anything or anyone. Whatever you had done, that was really good. Have another cigarette and you can talk about Laura as much as you like. So Alan is saying that no need to run away. Sit here, talk to me, have a cigarette. As much as you want to talk about Laura, you talk about Laura with me. There is no problem. You don't have to feel embarrassed about your act of charity. That actually was a good work indeed. Now next what happens? However, Hughie wouldn't stop, but walked home feeling very unhappy and leaving Alan Trevor in fits of laughter. Now Alan was laughing to see Hughie's reaction, how embarrassed he was feeling, how stupid he was thinking about himself. So Alan Trevor was in fits of laughter, but Hughie, he didn't stop. He didn't stop to take a cigarette and talk about Laura with his friend Alan Trevor. Rather, he chose to walk home, and he was feeling very unhappy. And when he did that, he walked away from Alan Trevor. Alan Trevor was in a fits of laughter. He was rolling out. Rolling out in laughter. He was laughing hard. Okay. The next morning, as he was at breakfast, the servant brought him up a card on which was written Monseigneur Gustav Nodin on behalf of M. Lee Baron Hausberg. So basically, the next day when Hughie was having, as he was having breakfast, he refers to Hughie, okay, when he was having a breakfast, a servant came up and with a card, and on the card, what was written? Monseigneur Gustav Nodin on behalf of M. Lee Baron Hausberg. So the card was from Baron Hausberg, that millionaire whom Hughie has thought to be a real beggar man and tried to help him by giving him a sovereign. So from that person, the card came. Okay. Now what is written on the card, or what the card is about? Let us see that. I suppose he has come for an apology, said Hughie to himself. So Hughie thought that maybe that person has come to accept my apology, to get an apology from me. Why? Because I am the person who dared to treat him as a beggar by giving him a sovereign. So I must apologize for my act. Now Hughie is not thinking that was the act of charity, or I showed my philanthropic side. Hughie was not thinking that. Hughie thought that what audacity I must have shown to that millionaire by giving him a sovereign. So this person this person has come to my house to receive an apology on behalf of Mr. Baron Hausberg, and I must apologize to that person. And he told the servant to show the visitor up. So Hughie now told the servant that you can send the visitor up. Wherever I am staying upstairs, you can send him up. Okay. Now an old gentleman with gold spectacles and grey hair came into the room. Now what is the description of the gentleman who came on behalf of Mr. Baron Hausberg? The person was wearing gold spectacles and had grey hair, okay, and he came into the room. As Hughie had already told the servant to send that person up, so that person came into Hughie's room and said in a slight French accent, have I the honor of addressing Monseigneur Erskine? Do I have the honor means am I presenting myself before Monseigneur Erskine, Mr. Erskine, Hughie Erskine? So Hughie bowed. Hughie then bowed before the person. Okay, that person who came with gold spectacles and grey hair, that person had a French accent. Remember these key words about this gentleman who came on behalf of Mr. Hausberg. Now Hughie bowed before that person. I have come from Baron Hausberg, he continued. The Baron, and he was unable to finish his sentence. Okay, he was to say something more, but Hughie interrupted that person, and that person was not able to finish his sentence. So one sentence he finished, that is, I have come from Baron Hausberg. And the next sentence he was unable to finish because Huey was already so embarrassed that he wouldn't let him finish his sentence and started doing what? Started apologizing before him. I beg, sir, that you will offer him my sincerest apology, stammered Huey. Huey was so embarrassed. Huey was so embarrassed about his activity that he had done, that act of giving sovereign to the beggar man. And he was stammering. He was stammering in front of that gentleman who came, and even before that gentleman could finish his sentence, Huey started apologizing for the act of giving sovereign to a millionaire, okay, without knowing his true identity. He started showing that how sad he is, how unhappy he is for what he has done. He's regretting his act. So he's, even before he can complete his sentence, he started saying that I beg, sir, that you will offer him my sincerest apologies, because he thought that maybe that person on behalf of Mr. Houseback has come to my house to accept my apology, okay, to get an apology from me. Acha. Then the Baron said, the old gentleman with a smile has commissioned me. Commissioned me means asked me, told me, ordered me to bring you this letter. And he extended a sealed envelope. And by saying that, the gentleman is saying, after Huey has finished with apologizing for his previous act of charity, Huey, once he has done with that, the person who came on behalf of the Baron, Baron Hausberg, that gentleman is saying with a smile that I am asked to come here to bring this letter. So that gentleman brought what? Brought a letter with him, and he extended that letter and extended a sealed envelope to Huey. Okay, the envelope was sealed. Now let us see what was there in the envelope. On the outside was written, a wedding present to Huey Erskine and Laura Martin from an old beggar, and inside was a check for £10,000. So the beggar man, who was actually a millionaire, took pity on Huey's condition when he got to know everything about Huey from his friend Alan Trevor, and was so impressed by Huey's act of charity that even when he was not in a condition to marry the love of his life, still he chose to help the beggar man, took pity on the beggar man. So that's why he has sent that £10,000, a check for £10,000. And what was written on the outside of that envelope? It was written that it is a wedding present to Huey Erskine and Laura Martin. From whom? From an old beggar. When they were married, Alan Trevor was the best man. Now, best man is there is a tradition in Christian weddings to have a best man or a best woman, to have that in the marriage. That is still a tradition there. Okay, so Alan Trevor, being the friend of Huey Erskine, he played the role of best man in the wedding. Okay, and the Baron made a speech. Baron made a speech at the wedding breakfast. So this is how finally the wedding got completed. Okay, Alan became the best man in the wedding and Baron gave a speech at the wedding breakfast. Now the story is ending with a remarkable sentence. Let us read that. Millionaire models, remarked Alan, are rare enough. But by Jove, model millionaires are rarer still. So Alan is making the ending remark. This is, you can say, the punchline of the story. This is where the whole story can be summed up. The conception, the idea of the whole story can be summed up right at here, right at this sentence. Now let us read the sentence again. Millionaire models, remarked Alan, millionaire models are rare enough. But by Jove, model millionaires are rarer still. Now what does it mean? There is a pun going on here, right? Millionaire models means millionaire models are rare enough, means millionaire with that millions of wealth, money, millionaire posing as a model, millionaires posing as a model for some painter is definitely rare enough. Definitely rare. You won't find many millionaires posing as a model for their friend or for some painter. They won't do that. They are so busy with making money, carrying on with their business and whatever trade they are in. They are so busy. They won't have the time to sit or pose as a model for a painter. It's not like clicking a picture within a fraction of second. It's not like taking a photograph. If you are posing as a model for some painter, that means you are going to invest a huge amount of time over there, long span of time will get invested there when you are posing as a model. So that is definitely rare. A millionaire posing as a model is definitely rare. But by Jove, model millionaires are rarer still. Model millionaires and millionaire model, what is the difference? Millionaire models, I have explained. Model millionaires means millionaires who are role model for others, for their act of charity, for having a generous heart, for having kindness in their heart, being not being indifferent to the suffering and misery of others, becoming a role model by that is rarer to be found. So a millionaire posing as a model is definitely rare, but what is rarer? Millionaires setting up examples of philanthropic activities, showing generosity, kindness. Generally, millionaires are busy with their work. When you have too much money, you don't care about the misery of the other. So he is setting up an example here that how millionaires should behave. They should not be indifferent to the misery and suffering of downtrodden poor people. If they have the money and somebody is facing some kind of problem due to lack of money, we must help them by providing him that amount of money. If that can solve the problem of somebody's life, then that is everything. So money was the problem for Huey, yet he decided to. And in case of Huey, see that how kindness pays you back. Do good, get good. We always hear that. Now this is the very good example of that. Huey didn't have money, yet he chose to help, and now his problem is getting solved. So when you do good, you get good in return. And in case of millionaire, model millionaire, this person Baron Hausberg, he too must have the golden heart. That is why he took pity on Huey's condition. He understood the philanthropic spirit of Huey Erskine and decided to help Huey Erskine. Not all millionaires will do that. So he is setting up an example by becoming a role model of millionaires, of other people, whoever in a condition to help others, do help others, because that is going to play a very crucial role in that person's life and your life as well. So this is where the story is ending, and I hope you have liked my videos. If you have really liked the way I explain line by line, word for word, page wise, the way I explain, if you have liked the way I do my work, to like my videos, don't forget to share my videos among your friends, and do subscribe my channels, and do follow my other videos for a clarification regarding the content of the stories that are there in ICSE board treasure chest book. Thank you for watching my videos.